What is up, Star Wars fans? This is Darth Watson. In this video, we not only had an announcement for Ahsoka Season 2, we had an announcement for The Mandalorian and Grogu and the Sean Levy Starfighter Star Wars movie, but we also got another announcement about the Maul series called Maul Shadow Lord, which is something that I'm really excited for, especially with it being about Maul and what's Maul up to during this time. It takes place between the events of the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, showing Maul becoming the godfather of crime. And there was also some hints towards Darth Talon appearing as well. But this is just a hint. This is not actually confirmed, but it's been hinted towards Darth Talon possibly appearing in the Maul series, which is awesome. It was shown in a trailer that was not released public, so I couldn't react to it. But I am excited for this Maul series. We'll have Maul and Talon, so we'll finally get some more elements from what George Lucas had initially planned for his sequel trilogy, where he wanted Maul and Talon to be the main villains of the sequel trilogy of his version. But now Maul and Talon are going to be brought much earlier in the timeline, and we'll see Darth Talon being trained as an apprentice to Darth Maul. So it'll be some form of element from George Lucas's original sequel trilogy plan that will be transformed into a series called Maul Shadow Lord, where Maul is the master, Darth Talon is the apprentice, and we'll see the Crimson Dawn, like the Maul Crimson Dawn, his organized crime group, and how he becomes the godfather of crime, which is something that George Lucas, again, wanted for his sequel trilogy, but it's being brought much earlier in the timeline. So we're going to learn a lot about the criminal underworld, and not just that, but Star Wars Underworld. Star Wars Underworld is some ideas that will be taking place in the Maul series as well. We'll see a lot of the underworld, something that may have originally been in George Lucas's original series that he wanted to create, but we're only seeing elements transform into other Disney Plus shows. We already saw some elements into Andor. We already saw some elements into the Kenobi show. We're going to see some elements play out in another Tales series that is coming out this year. And then we're also going to see some elements playing out. We're going to see some elements playing out about the Darth Maul series as well. Some elements from George Lucas's original plan for his Star Wars series called Star Wars Underworld. And we'll see how Maul becomes the godfather of crime. So we'll see some of George Lucas's ideas play out, just not in the way that George Lucas had intended it to go for a sequel trilogy. And a fun fact is that George Lucas had plans for Maul and Talon to be the main villain of his sequel trilogy as an idea for his older ideas for the sequel trilogy. Those weren't the latest ideas that George Lucas had before he sold it to Disney, and the final outline for the sequel trilogy was basically outlining something similar to what we got in the sequel trilogy of a older, depressed Luke Skywalker and self-imposed exile. That was a final decision that George Lucas made before he sold Star Wars to Disney. But we do know some of George Lucas's original plans for the sequel trilogy, some of his earlier plans when he was making the prequels, how he wanted Maul and Talon to be the main villain of the sequel trilogy, and how Maul becomes the godfather of crime. But anyways, this is pretty awesome. I cannot wait to see the series come out next year on Disney Plus. And let me know what you guys think about the Maul series down in the comment section down below. We've had a lot of reveals about new Star Wars projects, as well as a Star Wars movie from Sean Levy. We got Maul Shadow Lord. We got some announcements for The Mandalorian and Grogu, and some announcements for Ahsoka Season 2, including our first look at Balin's skull, which I'll be talking about in my next video. And we also got Andor Season 2 that is premiering tonight as well, which I'll be reviewing later on in the week. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. Do make sure to smash a like, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you all later in another video.